A small figure darted out from the shadows of a rain-soaked alley, running with all the strength her trembling legs could carry. Cars hissed past on the wet road, headlights cutting through the storm. A little girl, soaked to the bone, her thin dress clinging to her body, ran directly toward a patrol car parked by the curb. She stumbled, nearly falling, but caught herself before throwing both hands against the window. Her cheeks were wet, not just from the rain, but from the tears streaming down her face. With a desperate gasp of breath, she cried out, her voice breaking. "Please, please follow me home." Officer Daniels, who had been finishing his shift paperwork inside the car, froze. He had dealt with dozens of emergencies in his career, he had seen fear, pain, anger. But there was something about the way this child spoke, the way her voice cracked with raw desperation, that jolted him like nothing else. His instincts sharpened immediately. This wasn't the type of plea that could wait. He pushed the door open and crouched down in front of her. "Sweetheart, what's your name? What's wrong?" The girl's chest heaved as she tried to form words. She looked up at him with wide, terrified brown eyes. "Emily," she whispered, her tiny hands gripping the fabric of his uniform. "It's my mom. She's not okay. Please, you have to come right now." Daniels hesitated only for a second, studying her trembling frame. The rain plastered strands of hair across her forehead, and her lips were pale from the cold. She was too young to fake this, too innocent to invent a story like this. Something inside him, the part of him that had chosen this career not for the badge but for the people, told him to trust her. "All right, Emily," he said gently, taking her hand. "Take me to her. Show me where you live." The girl wasted no time. She tugged him along, running through back streets and narrow alleys as if she knew every crack in the pavement by heart. Daniels followed, his heavy boots splashing through puddles. His radio crackled as he called in, Unit 4 responding to possible medical emergency. Child led me to location. Stand by for details. The deeper they went, the quieter the streets became. They passed houses with peeling paint, broken fences, and windows covered with plastic sheets instead of glass. Daniel's chest grew heavy. This wasn't a part of town where help arrived easily, or where people asked for it. Finally, Emily skidded to a stop in front of a small, sagging house at the end of a narrow lane. The porch light flickered weakly, casting shadows across the warped wooden boards. Without hesitation, she pushed open the crooked door and rushed inside. Daniels followed, his flashlight beam cutting into the darkness. The smell hit him first, musty air, damp walls, and the faint scent of mildew. The living room was sparsely furnished, a thin couch, a rickety table, a few chairs that looked one step from collapse. Emily ran straight to the couch, where a woman lay curled under a blanket. Her skin was pale, her eyes closed, her chest rising shallowly. "Mommy," Emily cried, throwing herself at the woman's side. "I brought help, Mommy. Please wake up." Daniels rushed forward, his training kicking in. He checked her pulse, weak, but there. He placed a hand near her mouth. Yes, she was breathing, but slow, labored. His flashlight swept the room. He noticed unopened bills scattered across the floor, an empty fridge humming faintly in the corner, and not a trace of food anywhere. "Sir, is she going to die?" Emily's voice trembled, breaking the silence like glass shattering. Daniels crouched beside her, putting a hand on her shoulder. "She's still breathing. We're going to get her help right now. You did the right thing coming to me." He radioed urgently. Medical assistance needed immediately at 47 West Pine. Adult female unconscious, child on scene. Emily clung to his arm, refusing to let go as paramedics arrived minutes later. She watched in horror as they lifted her mother onto a stretcher. "Don't take her away. Don't leave me here," she screamed, her tiny voice raw with panic. Daniels knelt again, holding her hands. "Listen to me, Emily. They're taking her to the hospital so she can get better. You can ride with me, okay? I'll stay with you." She stared at him through tears before finally nodding, too exhausted to resist. Days later, Daniels visited the hospital. Sarah, Emily's mother, had survived, but the doctors explained her body had been pushed to its limits. Malnutrition, exhaustion, and untreated depression had nearly broken her completely. She had been trying to raise Emily alone after her husband left, juggling multiple jobs that slipped away one by one, until she had nothing left but her daughter. When Sarah opened her eyes for the first time after regaining strength, Emily was right there, gripping her hand tightly. "I thought you were going to leave me," Emily whispered. "No, baby," Sarah sobbed, pulling her close. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I didn't know how much more I could take." "You don't have to do it alone anymore," Daniel said softly from the corner. Both mother and daughter turned to him. He explained how he had reached out to community programs, local charities, and volunteers. The community, touched by the story, had come together: food deliveries, financial support, counseling services, even a job offer for Sarah once she recovered. Emily looked at Daniels with eyes brighter now, no longer filled with fear but with gratitude. "You saved us," she said simply. "No," Daniels replied, shaking his head. "You saved your mom. If you hadn't been brave enough to run into that storm and find me, none of this would have happened. You're the real hero here." The weeks turned into months. The little broken-down house slowly transformed. Fresh paint on the walls. Curtains on the windows. The sound of laughter where silence once reigned. Sarah grew stronger, both in body and spirit, determined never to let despair swallow her again. And Emily, bright, resilient Emily, flourished, her courage forever etched into her mother's heart. One evening, Daniels visited again. Emily ran straight into his arms, her laughter ringing like a bell. "Guess what? Mommy got a new job today," she shouted proudly. Sarah, standing behind her, smiled through tears. "I don't know how to thank you," she whispered. Daniels looked at them both and said, "You don't have to. Just promise me one thing: never stop fighting. Because as long as you have each other, you'll never truly be alone." And as he walked back to his patrol car, Daniels realized the truth. Some heroes wear uniforms, some carry badges. But sometimes, the bravest hero of all is just a little girl with tear-streaked cheeks who refuses to give up on the person she loves most.